Welcome to my podcast. Good morning. This is Al, and this is Inside Sports from the driver's seat. The adventures of the past 20 plus years of being a professional motor coach operator dealing with professional sports teams here in the city of Philadelphia. Let's talk about it. All right. Good morning. Welcome again to Inside Sports. As always, after the Eagles game with my co-host, Miss Annette McKinney out of Charleston, South Carolina. The Eagles got me so messed up this morning I can't even talk.
Good morning, Al.
Good morning. How are you today?
Not good.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I had put in my notes I was going to start out talking about what did you think of the change in defensive coordinator, but I see it didn't make a difference.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. Now, I got to depend on you a lot this morning because I had basketball last night. I had the Chicago Bulls, so I only got to see probably the first quarter of the game.
Okay.
And as with always, that first 10 plays are scripted plays. And I don't understand why most of the time they go so well, but once you get past that first series, everything goes to hell again.
I know. And that's the whole thing about it. We came out, to me, we was winning that game almost throughout the whole game. We were the better team, it looked like, until it got to that fourth quarter. Because even the first series was good, and the second one was so. But I think after halftime, it kind of like went downhill for us. But it was plenty of opportunities to pick it up. It wasn't like a big gap where we couldn't get back on track, but we just didn't get back on track.
Right. According to what I was seeing and hearing on the radio, because like I said, I couldn't see it. But as you said, we pretty much played a decent game for maybe 3 quarters and maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that last few minutes, I don't understand how you can I know he's an NFL player, but how you can let a backup quarterback starting at your 8-yard line go 92 yards for the winning score.
You could, if somebody had told me, that was going to happen, I would not have believed it because I don't know, it was a complete breakdown with the defense because there's no way. I said, even though I thought there's a lot of time left in, Locke can throw the ball pretty good. So, but I still didn't think that they was going to allow him to get all the way down the field. But I knew he was going to be going deep because a field goal wasn't going to get it for them. They had to get in the end zone. So with that, knowing that, I don't understand how the defensive coordinator is not thinking, okay, we got to protect the end zone. It's like, they were so worried about trying to do the front four to, go after the quarterback. He's going back, and we get burnt every time. And they knew exactly the blueprint to get them that touchdown. Just go deep. Nobody's going to catch you. That's every single game. Everybody just knows the Eagles. Just go deep on them, and and if you can throw and go deep, you're good. If you're one of them quarterbacks that can't really pass, you might have a problem. But it seems like lately, all the ones who can pass the ball, that's all it takes. And you can get past our secondary easily.
Right. And I really, from what I'm hearing on the radio and what I've heard and I've seen plays this morning, replays, Bradbury was, non-existent almost on that particular drive. And plus, your coordinator as well, because I think they called a blitz on that play.
Yeah.
So why would you do that and leave this guy on an island by himself when you already know this receiver is much faster than this guy, and he just blew right by him?
Yeah, and the thing about it is like on that last play, even if you try to catch up and push the guy, even if you get some type of penalty, he doesn't catch the ball. It's almost like he was catchable. Even you can try to push him off where he's not going to get a good aim at the ball. He did nothing. That he just looked at the guy. I don't think he thought he's probably going to catch it, but you don't know. He was right there, and it's like Bradbury did nothing to prevent that guy from catching the ball. And it was just awful to see that, because I was celebrating on that game. I said, we got this one. I didn't, it wasn't
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
lead, by 4 points, but I did not think we was going to lose that game at no time during that game until it got down to that last possession. And then Metcalf all of a sudden showed up. He didn't show up the whole game for them, but he showed up when it counted.
When it
And,
matters. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
it was awful.
I like I said again, listening to it, and this morning I've been listening to WIP and things of that nature,
Hmm.
and something that we said last time about inner locker room things,
Hmm.
I think is very present now, because
Oh yeah.
even Jalen himself in the interview, he said his exact words was, I don't think everybody is as committed, and the media took that and ran
Oh
with
yeah.
it. They tried to get him to explain. He said, I said what I said. I don't think everybody here is committed. So now you've got your leader putting it out there. So something is definitely going on in that locker room.
Well, he can make that statement, and it's probably true. I'm sure everybody is not committed. I think that everybody's committed, but they're not, on one accord with that particular,
Mm-hmm.
team. But I mean, Jalen Hurts has some explaining to do too, because I know that I'm assuming that the offensive coordinator called that play when when he threw the ball to Watkins, why he was
Mm-hmm.
going so deep. We were doing so good. We were getting the ball down the field. Why are we trying to get everything at that one play and it got picked? That right there to me was the beginning of the end, because we were
Mm-hmm.
already down close enough to field goal range, and I think we were only on our second down, and it's like he throws deep, it gets picked off, and you have to shake your head like, why did we do that?
Right,
It's like
right. Because
we were
he
running the
threw it
ball.
into double coverage.
Yeah, we were running the ball perfectly in the first quarter. I mean, we burnt almost 8, 9 minutes off the clock. So they know that running the ball works. And this is on the coach. You know it works, and you still, divert from that. You go to something else totally different. And I'm sure Jalen didn't throw it on his own, because Watkins was in that direction. So I know that was a good
Mm-hmm.
play for him. But why? Is that,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, and on the they showed a particular play this morning on the second interception, which was also in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went to I think that was AJ in the corner
Yeah.
there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Watkins was open right in the not really in the middle, but like his safety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His blanket was right there open, and he had at least 30 or 40 yards in front of him if
Mm-hmm.
Jalen had seen that and got him that little short pass, because there was no one in front of him.
Nope.
You know.
He doesn't. It doesn't like he doesn't look the field. He would once his eye is on a person, that is who he's going with. AJ Brown,
Mm-hmm.
they was double coveraging him. They was all on him. There was no way he was going to catch that ball. I mean, he was almost there, but with all that coverage, there was no way that was going to work out. And I know we were getting desperate. We were getting down to the last few seconds, but it should have nowhere gotten to that point.
Right,
And when
right.
we turned the ball over, on the fourth down on our last possession, I knew there was too much time on that clock. We didn't even burn the clock, because when they gave the ball back to
Mm-hmm.
us, we only burnt like 20 something seconds off the clock. And it's like, because we doing these fast moves instead of running the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you turn the ball back over. Once again, we controlled that game. All we had to do is keep going for first down, and burn the
Mm-hmm.
clock. You give the ball back to a quarterback, whether he's a backup or not, he can throw. Okay, a
Yeah.
minute and something is a long time for somebody who can pass the ball and who's been doing
Mm-hmm.
it the entire game.
Yeah, yeah.
Just bad
I think
play
I think
call.
there was a minute and 52 left when they got the ball back, and like I said, they was on their 8-yard line, and with what's supposed to be an elite defense that we're supposed to have, there is no way they should have went down the field and scored like that.
No, not at all. And we say backup. This guy is, this guy, he's a backup. Anybody can become a backup quarterback and from one year to the next. That does not mean they can't play. You can be
Mm-hmm.
a substitute on any position. Everybody's getting paid, and that's the thing. You
Right.
can't get complacent with, oh, he's a backup. He hasn't had too much practice. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know what those teams are doing on the other side. Just like I didn't know if Hurts was going to play. when Mariota got out there, they can't say, oh, they got their backup out there.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen. But I don't know what happened, where the breakdown in the disconnect came, but it came somewhere in halftime. After halftime, they still did
Yeah.
not come out
Yeah.
swinging.
Mm. I mean, this was almost like the opposite of what we've been doing all year, because
Mm-hmm.
most of the year we have been playing very poorly during the
Yeah.
first half.
Mm-hmm.
Come the second half, somehow a light goes on and we play better and we win games very close. But
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like this time we had a decent game in the
Yeah.
first half,
Mm-hmm.
actually in the third quarter, and
Mm-hmm.
then the fourth quarter it just
Even the
fell
fourth
apart.
quarter, the game, it was like it was never out of reach. It was never. I mean, we stayed on top the majority of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and the game was never like taken away from us. Like I said, we made some very terrible calls, and that is why
Mm-hmm.
the ball got turned over to them. I don't know, the coaching, something happened, on our last possession, and the game just went away. But I'm looking at the screen like, there's no way this guy's going to catch this ball in the end zone, because they're trying to get in the playoffs. First of all,
Right, right.
Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted it more than we wanted it. And the only bright side of it, is that it wasn't, we clinched already. If we didn't clinch already,
Right.
I think we would not make the Super Bowl. I mean, make the playoffs, because I think it's
Exactly.
concerning.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it's concerning.
Yeah, that was my thought right before we got on here. I was saying that if we hadn't already clinched a spot,
Mm-hmm.
we may have been in danger of not making it whatsoever.
Right,
You
right.
know,
And that would have been totally
and
embarrassing to go all
absolutely,
14
absolutely.
weeks and you don't make the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. And like I said, how we're going to be seeded is still, up in the air, because,
Yeah.
we own our own. A lot of times through this whole season, the Eagles have owned their own destiny, and they
Right.
chose to just break off, every game, because if we wouldn't last night, not saying that we will get the number one seed, but there's a good chance that San Francisco can fall off somewhere and lose a game
Mm-hmm.
or two, and we could get the number one seed. Now, I don't even see that as an option. At best, we might get number one in the division, at best, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're still going to be number two or number three seed, depending on what the Lions do coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the fourth seed is already pretty much NFC South is going to pick up that, but we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at second, third, or fifth seed, maybe even sixth if we lose out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because coming up Sunday or Christmas Day, whenever is that, Sunday or Monday,
Monday.
whenever it is, we have the Giants here,
Mm-hmm.
a divisional team.
Yep.
The Giants are not a very good team right now,
Nope.
but then
Neither are we.
they played better Sunday than what we played last night,
Yep.
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 And so there's a possibility that they could come in here and steal that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to the Giants on the last game of the season. You give them that little bit of confidence. Who knows how they're going to come out in that last game?
And even Arizona, on New Year's Eve, we play Arizona, and Kyler Murray is back at quarterback, and
Mm-hmm.
so he's good,
Yeah.
he's fast. I mean, and they don't have anything to lose, but they have something to prove. And beating the Eagles, everybody's name gets up there when you beat the Eagles, like the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, if they can beat the Eagles, But I do understand that it looks bad, but at this point in time, I'm concerned, but about the playoffs, not so much the rest of the season, because we are going to the playoffs, and that's a whole new
Mm-hmm.
season. So they got time to get together, and I feel like, since I know that we're not going to, it's very slim chance we get the number one seed. We're probably going to be on the road somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really be putting Jalen Hurts out there as much or anything. Put Mariota in here and there, because what do we have to gain with these last three games?
Right.
We're going from second to fifth. I mean, it's going to bounce back between us and the Cowboys, who wins the division. So at most, second or third will win. And you're still going to be on the road. You're not going to get a first round bye. You still got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
these last few games. Now, if we had won yesterday, I'd be kind of excited about the next three games. I'm not excited about it, because what can we really gain out of that?
Right. Right.
Win or
Well.
lose. I mean, we're going to the playoffs, and the way we're playing, I don't know, be one and done. I mean, so I'm at the
Mm-hmm.
point now where I haven't seen anything to excite me, going forward.
Right, right. There's two sides of what you just said. I agree on one side. The other side, I don't, simply because the way we've been playing thus far, and let's say we take Jalen, sit him for these next 3 games or two, whatever, however long you sit him. Now, he hasn't played well enough yet.
Yeah.
And if you sit him and then you come back with the way we've been playing the whole year, what makes us as fans think that he's going to be better, the team going to be better? So
Well, I
I
say,
think
well,
they need to get that in there.
well, when I say sit him, because every time they turn around, they said there's something wrong with him. So whatever's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with him, fix it. If there's something,
Right.
if it's been his knee, that I mean, I know he was. I mean, I don't even know he was sick yesterday. He didn't look sick on the field to me. He played pretty
Mm.
good, but I don't know what's going on. But you play him, but you risk him getting injured. And
Right.
I don't say play the entire 3 games, because these 3 games are not like that's going to get us any further into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Right.
saying that
Right.
put him in, put Mariota in a little bit, do some back and forth here, because he can still get injured and not play at all. Because anybody
Yeah,
get injured now,
absolutely.
there's no IR, there's no 4 games you're going to miss. There's only 3 left, so you will not be
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs. We're lucky to be getting, I think, Maddox back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I know they got a lot of stuff to work on, in which we've been
Mhm.
saying this week after week after week after week. But I think now, on top of all the things that they have to work on, is their locker room mentality,
Mhm.
because something is seriously going on there. And I mean, even like Brandon Graham, he tries to be as political as he can,
Mhm.
because he was asked questions about that. Well, what do you think Jalen meant by everybody is not fully committed?
Mhm.
And Graham is the type, he's not going to talk against any player in that locker room.
Right.
And he just simply said, well, I can't speak for Jalen. Whatever he said, we'll talk to him and see what he meant. But there's no way I'm going to sit up here and say that, yeah, we're definitely not. So he just said, well, we'll talk about it and see what he meant,
Mhm.
because we don't know what he meant.
Yeah. And just by that, I mean, the statement is scary, because we're about to go into the playoffs, and if you guys are just having some type of issues, I mean, everybody's probably pointing a finger, the blame game, but to me, there's a lot of to go around, from the coaches on down to the players. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of blame to go around, so nobody should be saying, hey, it was you, we'd be here, it was you. You look at all those games. Everybody played a part in losing these last 3 games, and we're on a 3-game losing streak here. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
something is not getting fixed. And I mean, he goes to the coach now. You have to explain to us what is going on here. The players
Mm-hmm.
are saying whatever. I know. I want to hear what Nick Sirianni has to say. What do you got to do? Get your team together, because they are not together here.
Right, right. And they was saying too that this 3-game losing streak is the first in NFL history that a team has started 10-1
Mm-hmm.
and then lost 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So
And luckily, I mean, it doesn't matter. You lose by 1 point, you lose by 50.
mm-hmm.
Anybody watched the game? I mean, everybody's saying, "Oh, the Eagles got this." I mean, nobody expected that last play. That last play to end in a touchdown. I'm sure people
Right,
watching
right.
at home. I called my dad, and he's like, "What you got?" Nobody was expecting that, and that's on defense. That should have never
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Yeah, yeah. And I know I was kind of excited when they made the change in coordinator, because I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
they need to do something
Yeah.
different. What they had wasn't working, but it didn't work last night as
Mhm.
well. And
Bad
is it
play
on the
calling.
coordinator? Is it on the players? Well, both.
Well, and the thing about it is, it seems like they put so much trust in our secondary for some reason. It's like they think throughout the game they're going to get better, or they're gonna do this play that's outstanding. I mean, we didn't have Slay out there. That kind of hurt us. Bradbury is not the one that's going to win this game for us. I mean, we got burnt in the back so many times yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the blueprint for the Eagles. You want to beat the Eagles, just go deep on them. It was last
Right.
year was the same scenario, even though we lucked up and went to the Super Bowl, but that is everybody knows what to do to get us. They'll run the game. If their running game is not working, their passing game will work on us. We can stop them up
Mm-hmm.
front running, but once you pass that, it's anyone's. They're home free, and that needs to be fixed next year. Regardless of what goes on in the team, it needs to be fixed. And
Yeah.
if there is locker room problems in there, and somebody doesn't have the enthusiasm that wants to play, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It looked like AJ Brown. He looked kind of quiet yesterday. He did, he made some few catches here and there. Devontae made a few catches. Nobody seemed like they were like excited, but they did
Mm-hmm.
play okay to me, I thought. But no one seemed like, and I didn't really know how Jalen Hurts was going to come out there playing because everybody said, he was sick and he had the
Right.
flu-like symptoms and everything. So you didn't really know what to expect. But like I said, that first series, I'm like, this looks like a pretty good,
Yeah. Yeah. And that at least the last 3 games, the San Francisco game, the Dallas game, and this game,
hmm
that first series, we went out there and we thought, okay, yeah, we got something going here.
Yeah.
But after that first series, it seemed like everything falls apart for whatever reason. And
Well, I think after the first series, the other teams' coordinators are looking at it and
adjust.
say, okay, now we see, because once we stick to something, we don't change up. We stick to it. We don't move around. And they say, okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing. Now this is what we're going to do. They reverse what they were doing and it works, and we don't have
Mm-hmm.
a backup plan. We're committed to a certain play, we stick with it. Some teams,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes even if the play is not there, like Jalen Hurts, he had time to throw the ball. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they had a lot of one-on-one coverage and stuff like that, and he had some good runs and everything. It didn't look sloppy like it did in
Right.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I figure it ain't the best game, but it's winnable.
Right, right.
And the whole game, there was not one time until that fourth quarter in that last possession they had. That was the only time I was really concerned about losing. When he
Mm-hmm.
got
Mm-hmm.
when Metcalf, when they start catching the ball and they get down midfield, I said, oh, now we getting in, touchy territory. Now they're getting in midfield and they only got to go a few more yards. But and then for some reason on their third and long or something, we knew they were going to go for it on fourth. They had to try to win the game, but that is when our defense got to really say, hey, we put them away right now. It's over. Nothing, no
Yeah.
sense of urgency.
Yeah. And to me, that falls on the coaching because your players out there, the situation. I guess they call it situational football. You don't get into their ear and say, "Well, hey, look, this is this, and let's buckle up, let's buckle up." It doesn't seem like that is happening, and you can't hear. Oh, okay. Well, I got you pretty good. I don't know why these things keep happening. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep on talking there. Hopefully, it'll come back because I don't want to stop in the middle of it. No, but
Okay, now it's resuming.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it's going in and out. Supposedly, when it happens like that, once the because your recording and my recording goes up to the cloud and it comes back down together, and it's supposed to be great. So
Right.
hopefully, this will be the same way. I
Yeah.
guess I guess the Eagles are rubbing off on us.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't even watched any of the shows this morning, sports stores shows and everything. But one thing some of the commentators were saying before the game is that they said this game is not really a desperate thing for the Eagles, to win. They
Hmm.
was like it's more for the Seahawks need to win,
Right,
even
right.
though everybody was going for the Eagles except one person. But they were still saying it was more for the Seahawks had to win. They were on a 4-game losing streak, so they had to
Hmm.
win to try to get in the playoffs. Where the Eagles are already in the playoffs, it's just like where you're going to be seated. So you look at it that way, you don't feel too bad. But the only thing about it is, I'm hoping that when we go into the playoffs, that it's a different season and the number 7 seed can go to the Super Bowl. It's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
different, but their
Hmm.
mentality has, like I said, in that locker room has to be there. I think that,
Hmm.
you're one and done. You don't have 16 more games to get it right in the playoffs. So anybody can have a bad day. The Eagles can go much further. They can go to the Super Bowl. They still can go to the Super Bowl. Just beat the team.
Right,
And,
right.
it's everybody that's that's going to be in the playoffs have lost a couple of games.
Hmm.
So anybody can lose. what's the name? 49ers won a 3-game losing streak early in the season.
Right.
So it happens, and they picked it back up, and now they're on a winning streak. So the Eagles, it would be the comeback of the year if we pick it up and we make it to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But we were probably
Well,
going to go through Dallas or 49ers to do it.
yeah, yeah. Again, I agree and I disagree. I agree with what you're saying, but where I disagree at is because we have been saying all year, okay, well, we just won by the skin of our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We still 8-1. We still 9-1. We still 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
We still winning. But then soon as you lose one, you lose two, you lose three.
Mm-hmm.
And now my thought process is, will this last game that we just lost against Seattle be a mental block because you done lost two, and you lost two very badly?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
by us losing this one, how strong of a minded are these players going to be? Are their leaders going to step up and talk to these guys, talk to themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and say, well, look, we cannot let this down us here? Because it could very possibly happen, because now you done got into a 3-game losing streak, and that
Yeah.
could be against your mental psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping that the leadership, the coaches, as they say, you got people that are leaders of men. Hopefully they can step in there and talk to these other men and get their mental turn around, because, like you said, it's a new season.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't played well for 17 games, then all of a sudden you're going to turn it on. I mean, it could happen. It has happened.
Yeah.
But with the way we playing, oh my God, we don't need to go that road.
Well, the thing about it is, everybody's playing. Everybody's still playing. In NFC, I think, everybody's still, is trying to play for nobody's going to get, number one seed. Nobody has the opportunity to do it but us. If we went out and say the 49ers do something. So I'll think the number one seed is out. But I think that right now you have to look at injuries. We need everybody healthy going into the playoffs.
Right.
And that goes for all teams. And everybody's getting beat up because these other teams, this is always how December ends anyway. All the teams that have nothing to lose will come out and play you hard. The Giants are going to, to them, it's like, hey, let's get out there and let's just play around with them and see what happens. That mentality, you end up winning for some reason.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is, we get out there, if we're not really doing anything when we play them at home. That should be a plus. But hey, don't get our guys beat up for a game that's not winning. We need to be healthy for the playoffs, and that's how I look at it. Because that's the what you get at the end of the road is this going to the playoffs healthy. You go into the playoffs and our quarterback is not healthy. You go into the playoffs, we lose. Like Lane Johnson, we thought, I don't know, he came back in the game, but let's say that game we lost and then we lose him. So it's not worth losing any players, but you got to win. But basically,
yeah, absolutely.
But we're not at a position where we know that we're going to the playoffs. We're not at a position that these are must-win games. It's just like, if you want to be this seed or that seed, that's the only thing is, because you don't know who you're going to face. And last night, if the playoffs was to start today, we would be the number 5 seed, and I think we played the number 4 seed.
Right.
And right now, that would be the Buccaneers, and that would be a good place to be.
Right.
So sometimes it depends. You got to be careful what you ask for. If we do get number 2 seed, you're playing maybe the Vikings, maybe the Rams. So you got to kind of look at it and see where we're going to be comfortable with it right now.
Right. Exactly.
Teams are coming out. We beat the Vikings, this year. That don't mean you're going to beat them in the playoffs. Everybody's different, So the next few games will determine what seed we're going to be, and starting Monday for us.
Yep, absolutely. And just hope that we can hit that switch when we need to hit it, because it's coming up where that switch is halfway down. It's got to be all the way up, all the way down. Can't hear again? Okay. Well, I just got you again there.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, this is 30 minutes for us. So we're gonna hope and that these guys get it together when the new season starts, and which is just
Mhm.
right around the corner.
Are you
And
working
we'll.
Christmas Day?
No, I don't think so because it's the Giants and those guys from New York will bring them down.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
So normally I would go over to the hotel with the drivers the night that they come down and take them some Hennessy over there and hang out with them, because we all got a good relationship there. So, but game day, I should be sitting by the TV checking it out there.
But we'll be there for the game on the 31st with the Cardinals. I'll be in town
Okay.
next week on the
Okay.
28th. So we'll be bringing New Year's in there like we did last year. So I'll probably see the players at the hotel as I normally do and everything. But
Right.
we
Okay.
give them an earful. They probably throw me out the hotel that night. So,
don't
just
hey
the
don't
plan.
embarrass your brother now.
Oh yeah, well I won't mention him, but it's just kind of like embarrassing. But one thing you were saying that we've been winning a lot, by the skin of our teeth in the beginning. Thank God
Hmm.
for those wins because now towards the end, because we didn't get those nail
We
biting
wouldn't
wins,
be in this position now.
we would be washed by now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a good thing we got all those built up, and that's the main thing. Is like I said, you got to build up all those wins, no matter how you get them,
Hmm.
because without those close games, we don't even see the playoffs the way we're
Right.
playing now. So
Mm.
thank God that we were able to get a comfortable lead, and that's what saved it. That's what saved us into going to the playoffs.
Isn't that?
Mhm.
And we'll do this again, I guess next Tuesday, because
Yep.
it's a Monday game on Christmas.
Hmm.
And everybody, this has been Inside Sports from the driver's seat with my co-host Annette McKinney out of Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you so much, Annette.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, have a good one, and
You
Merry
too.
Christmas to you.
I know you too.
All right.